Now, to bring us up to speed on the state of readiness for the polls, it being just 30 days to the August 9th general elections, I'm joined by two commissioners from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, and including the Vice Chairperson of the Commission, Juliana Cherera and Justus Nyangaya. Good to have you both. The other day, we saw papers begin to arrive at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Where do things stand?
At this point, we are in a good place because most of the things we have done, the few that are remaining are basically the voter education towards the general election. We've done voter education in regards to the voter registration phase that we dealt with. We did voter education in regards to voter verification and inspection. Then we moved forward. Now we are training our polling staff, and then we are training the voters what is expected of them. How do they vote? We want to see a reduction on the spoiled vote this 2022 general election. We want to see a higher voter turnout. We want to see a more informed voters, and we are hopeful that this time people will make informed choices come the August. So basically, we are in a good place. I talk on the preparation of materials procured. Remember, procurement is a lengthy process. We have done all the procurements, and at this point, 99% of the materials that we require have been procured. Remember, there is also there is an issue with the logistic in terms of the cargo that is being airlifted. So the sooner we have our ballot papers, the safer for us.
The printing of ballot papers started before the gazettement of the over 16,000 candidates, about 16,100.
We sent this gazettement notice on the 30th. That is when the chairman of the commission signed. And all the ballot papers, including the ones that you saw we were receiving on Thursday, were ordered after the 30th of last month. We were running late. We should have actually given them a go-ahead to print from the 22nd of last month. But we were still dealing with issues of dispute resolution. But we also have a team called Project Implementation Committee. This is the committee that interfaces with the printers in Athens. And after we had sent the names to the printers, that is when the team told the printers, print. And each time that, and I think they were really running scared, because they said in terms of logistics of bringing over 17 airplane load of paper, this is a logistical nightmare. And that's why they wanted us to give them 30 days. So yes, I think there could be questions around that. The question is, Olive, I think this which might need to be asked, if they don't print until the 17th or 20th of this month, will we still be waiting? Ballot papers must be printed. They must be flown here. It takes a huge logistical arrangement for them to be brought up to here, up to the 47 counties, up to the 290 constituencies, up to 1,450 wards. It is a big thing.
We expect the last shipment.
The last shipment we are expecting on 29th.
29th
And
of
that
this
will
month.
be the presidential.
See, this printer has the capacity to print between 7 million to 10 million ballot papers in a day.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And our register has 22.1 million voters. Every voter needs 6 ballot papers. So multiply those papers, 22.1 times 6 ballot papers. It gives us to 132
million. Yes.
Yeah, point something million ballot papers. So if this firm is able to print maximum 10 million per day, it needs 13 days to do that.
Okay.
So they need a time to start printing, and once they have the pallets full, they'll be shifting, airlifting to Kenya.
Okay, so the papers that have been printed are the ones for which the seats are not, the clearance is not contested.
No, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's
All
not
right.
contested.
And you talked about this implementation committee. And I can remember quite clearly, vividly, a line in the Daily Nation. The Daily Nation only yesterday listed 10 questions for your commission. And one of them was, and I remember this was the opening line of that report, it said, shockingly, the chairperson of the IEBC commission, Wafula Chebukati, said he found out just hours before the first shipment arrived in Kenya. Are you not in the loop?
You know, in terms of procurement, and in terms of operations, the management is in charge. Sometimes
Is this the secretariat you're referring to?
yeah, the secretariat. Yeah, they're in charge, and we had put in place a project implementation team. They have been dealing with these things. They have been going to Athens and Romania. I think they have gone about twice or thrice. We don't even have to. They report to us. We don't even have to see them go. Once we have given them the duties and how they need to do it, that's how they do it.
Okay.
And when they gave those people time and the go-ahead to print, all this had been discussed with the project implementation team.
Okay.
For us, we are being told they're coming. Can you receive them?
All right.
And there's not big deal about, because they are even coming, even tomorrow I think some of them are coming.
Okay.
They'll be coming in
They will
batches.
be coming every day.
Yeah.
So you're on top of things?
Yeah.
We are on top
Really?
of things.
Yes.
I think what made it to have a lot of pressure was because previously you had published some content that was not really founded about ballot papers and blah, blah, blah.
Coming from Uganda.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next day, when now we are officially receiving ballot papers, now that's why it really had a lot of interest. Yeah.
Okay.
But really, the Secretariat does the management of the operations of IEBC as we give them the policy level.
Okay. You talked about voter education, and you said voter education needs to happen at every stage, including when those registration. Kenyans are invited to register. I think you had the mass registration drives in 2 phases, in October and early this year. A lot of ado has been made about the publication of the KPMG. What does the KPMG report, having audited that register, what does it state? Has that been made public?
Thank you, Olive. Yes, it has been made public. Remember that day when we certified the register and we told the country that this is the KPMG report, this is what it has flagged out, the things that we need to do as IEBC, and yes, the document is now public information.
Okay.
So, yes.
Where do we go to find it?
At IEBC website, it is there, and you can also ask it of us, and we can give it to you. So basically, there were issues that were flagged from the register. For example, the dead. Now it was 246,000 that were flagged out, of which they were deactivated from the register. And also, we had an analysis of people who had similar ID numbers. Yeah, that was also flagged out. People that have similar, the way the names appear and the serial number of the ID, yes, it was flagged out.
You mentioned Uganda and the reports that have been flying about. There were claims that for 10,000 polling stations, that 200 ballot papers for 10,000 polling stations were going to be stuffed. There were also allegations linking one side of the political divide to the ballot printers. How do you respond to all of that?
Let me not respond to that, but let me tell you how that thing cannot happen. Results announced at the polling station is final. And we have invited media houses to cover all the polling stations. That on that day, this final result at the polling station, you can take a picture of it.
Okay.
Before they go out. You tell me, how can that one that is coming from somewhere else get into this polling station?
You talked about ballot stuffing, and I want to assure you that it is not going to be possible because we have printed ballot papers in accordance to the numbers in a particular polling station. No less, no more. Because our ballot papers are 22.1 times the 6 ballot papers that we need. So there is nothing extra that will come out from any other place. And if you bring a foreign material, it will be more than what we have provided for that polling station.
This whole manual register and electronic voter identification, right? You talked of the KIMS kits.
Yes.
Why is there so much of a furore? Why can they not accompany each other, as Raila Odinga has asked?
I think Raila Odinga is not wrong in asking what he's asking, because what he is saying, and I think you will bear me out, is that yes, he agrees that the primary identifier is the digital register. The next step is that if your name is not on the physical register, the appeal court of 2017 had said that the next step is to find your name with the identity card. And then it brings out your alphanumerics, your face, pictures, and date of birth, and all that stuff. Failure to that, we try to find out, is it the KIMS kit that is not working, or what is it that is happening? Because the physical register is what exists in the digital register here. And as Emil is saying, things can fail, including all these. Can we not have it in the station? And we say, yes, this is how we will do it. But we will have that physical register in the station in the event that all have failed. The appeal court had said, this now will require the intervention of the commissioners. They have to be told, they have to call all the other stakeholders, including political parties, and agree and say, station this. All the KIMS kits have failed. Can we use the manual? It is very complicated, time-consuming, but it will be there.
Okay. Yeah,
so I don't think the arguments that we are making is really different from what Azimio is making. We are saying that the physical register will not be used as long as the KIMS kits are working. And we have 6 backup KIMS kits per ward. Last elections, we had 3 backups per ward. The identification of voters has never been a problem. The failure rate has been about 3%. And so we know that it will not present a problem. The physical register that had been used before is people were being identified through the physical register, and it had been very, very used. The credibility of the ballot could not be said that was existing. So what we are saying, the primary identifier, and we are following the law, and again, this thing is in court, and I think whatever will come out, I think after 18th, that is what we are going by.
Okay.
But what stands right now is the physical register, then the ID, then the backup, then when all else is completely kaput, then we bring up the physical register. Okay. That's how it runs.
So is this data stored in the KIMS kit already, or are we relying on network? Are they in a server somewhere?
No, no, no. In fact, it is in the KIMS kit.
Okay.
It is in a flash disk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it is offline. So nobody can even hack it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So network challenges are not an issue here?
Network challenges are not an issue.
Okay.
An issue that can be there is the power bank or the power to the KIMS kit. And we have taken care of that.
Okay.
The KIMS kit itself has power. Then we have another power bank. Then we have an extra one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked about the audit report on the voters register. There had been some allegations early on that some 800,000 names were missing, or 1 million people had been transferred from their polling station. I know you've added polling stations this time round. So how was that resolved?
There are people who were complaining that they find themselves in other areas. So we called all the forms, transfer forms that are usually filled when you request for transfer.
Okay.
And indeed, we found that other people were transferred without their consent. So we reversed all those transfers that do not have forms, were reversed back to where people belong.
Okay.
Then we started an investigation to find out who did it, because basically no one has hacked our system. So it is our internal staff that did something like that. And last week it was announced that already 5 people have been told to step aside. Yes, and we have replaced them in areas where they were manning. And going forward, everything is now okay.
Okay. All right. Today, the chairperson of the commission, attending the NCIC Peace Forum, said that IEBC is not tribal, that it represents the face of Kenya. But from the campaign trail, we've had allegations of, Wetangula is Chebukati's cousin. You know, do you have any message for the political players ahead of the August 9th general election?
Oh, yes, I do. The process that we have on a recruitment of staff for IEBC is such that if a community has 2 counties, then we recruit people from those 2 to become head of those counties from that community. We may not necessarily have them work in those counties, but we take them out. If they have about 8, because the geographical area of that community is big, people need to be recruited from those communities to take charge of counties. They may not necessarily take charge of counties where they come from, but they are moved to other places. That reflects the face of Kenya, that even a small community has somebody at the top running a county operations. Okay. And I will caution that people need to, if there are anything that concerns some of that they have concerns around how we are doing these things, they can come and we explain how we have done these things.
Okay.
But when people speak from a point of not very much information, that can be very dangerous.
Okay.
And we can end up profiling even our own employees, which is dangerous.
All right.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Cherera, are you all, as commissioners, on the same page? We've seen reports of IEBC commissioners divided. For example, over the issue of printing the ballot papers before the publication of the list of candidates. Are you united? Will we see some images that we saw in the last election where some have resigned?
Olive, let me assure you, the commissioners are united, and we are not going to allow to be divided. We are going to this election on the 9th as one front to give Kenyans a free, fair and credible election. Okay. That is what we want.
Kwa hivyo hamjakosana?
Hatujakosana na hatutakosana.
Na wanasiasa hawajaingia hapo ndani kwa vuruga?
Kabisa. Tutapigana kwa boardroom. Yes,
because
in
everyone, the boardroom
in the boardroom,
discuss.
Everyone has their own opinions. And by the end of the day, we come to an agreement that this is the way forward and this is what we are taking. So it is a healthy group. Okay. That hakuna mtu amefinyiliwa, kila mtu ana uhuru ya kusema kile ambacho anaona. That is us. All right.
Thank you so very much for speaking to us and providing clarification on those questions. Tunatembea na nyinyi.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
All right. We've heard from the referee, and on the other side of this break, we hear from the electorate.